Guys, I'm sorry about keeping y'all waiting. I was actually just driving home. What is good? It's your boy. It is Mikey T, the movie star. You know what they call me? The most hated yet anticipated Mikey T, the movie star. I'm back with a major exclusive. As the world knows, one of the biggest beefs out of Philly has officially come to an end. And that's what we're on here to talk about tonight, as well as a few other things. Just give me 1 second right now. I'm going to bring in my co-host. I'm going to bring in my guy right now, my co-host, SV TWIZZ. Philly's.
Let's go. What's good, Mikey? What's up, bro?
What's up, my dude? I'm just getting my stuff together right now. I'm just getting
Okay.
myself situated. How's everything on your end, bro?
Oh, man, everything good, man. I can't complain. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's get it rolling, y'all. Exclusive info today.
Hell yeah, man. Pretty much over the weekend, everything kind of came full circle in Philly, man. I think Philly saw a lot of unity over the last 7 days, in my opinion. TWIZZ, man, how's the vibe? You're gonna be hearing me say that throughout this show tonight. How is the vibe right now in Philly, man? Because things look like they're looking up right now out there.
Definitely, as far as music is coming along, but as far as the streets, it's real nasty out there. You know what I mean? So I salute the rappers that have been unifying and for everybody sticking together and everybody that's trying to be on positive vibes. Because right now, Philly definitely a war zone right now.
Yeah, man. Ab had actually reached out to me over the last few days, and he was telling me a few things about as far as the music he was able to get to hear. He had actually reached out to me and asked for the information of Albee as well. Jersey rapper Albee is actually locked up right now and facing a couple attempts.
Dang.
And Ab even gave me some thoughts on Benny the Butcher, who looks like he's returning to his touring schedule, as well as State Property, TWIZZ. State Property looks like they're making a little bit of a run right now.
Facts.
You got Beans, you got Freeway, you got Chris, you got Petey Crack. What have you thought of this new run from State Property as of late, man?
Well, first and foremost, before I even speak on their tour, I gotta say, everybody keep their prayers up for Freeway because, last I had checked, his daughter was going through some medical issues, and they were in the hospital. So I gotta start it off with that. But other than that, man, it's beautiful, man. It's no different than, you know, I know it's not really the same thing, but it's like the verses where you have, legends from, a different from the earlier generation, early 2000s, late 90s, just to show the people that they still got it, that they can still control the crowd, you know, um, on top of unleashing classical music, they also be having new stuff that they have in the tuck. So, salute to them, man. I think it's a great move.
So yeah, I just noticed on Instagram, the three of those guys posting up pictures together and shit, TWIZZ. Chris, Petey, and Beans, they really are looking great together. I've got to say, man. And they really have that vibe of like the interesting members of the State Property. It shows you that these guys coming together. As you know, I just interviewed Petey Crack earlier this year, and I actually had the opportunity to interview young Chris over the years. So honestly, just seeing them all together right there, it just showed me how much commercial appeal they actually have together. But we're about to bring in our guy Rosewood. It looks like Rosewood's about ready to join us in a second. Mike Smooth in the building. What's popping with you, man? Appreciate you for tuning in. Baltimore's on the check-in tonight.
Be more salute.
Major salute. But yeah, I just wanted to tap in on that for a second, because
Definitely.
Ab had actually spoke on that as well. Now, one of the things Ab told me was the music he's been able to listen to, TWIZZ. Ab told me that he said OT The Real has a lot of songs on core links. And core links is apparently the method of music that you use when you're listening to, joints in the jail. He told me that he was looking it up and he really didn't see any dark low joints on the core links. Do you have any memories of using core links?
No, when I was passing through the jails, they wasn't doing all the tablets with music. We had regular Walkmans. You know what I'm saying? It was like Power 99, 10.3, and things of that nature. It wasn't no tablets and nothing like that.
Yep. So Avid said OT The Real has a lot of songs on core links. He's even got one with Low on here. I'm about to purchase some and take a listen. So Ab was telling me that Dark Low actually appeared on OT The Real's project that is on core links. He said also OZ Sparks has the tape on here as well. That's my cousin Kaz's artist. I'm about to purchase that too. One other tape Ab had brought up. He said they just recently put Albee Al's tape on here. So I just purchased it. That joint is fire. He has a track with Low on there. And I want to reach out to him. So Ab had asked me to get Albee Al's information. One of my homies from out here had actually booked Albee Al in Connecticut at one point. Because, TWIZZ, Albee Al was taking off.
Facts. And that's you know what I'm saying, that's heavy right there. And that's unfortunate, you know what I mean?
But what do you think about that, TWIZZ? The fact that Dark Low, Ab said that he couldn't find Dark Low's two most recent projects, which, obviously his most recent projects might not be on there. But what do you think about the fact that Dark Low is popping up on all these albums that Ab is actually downloading while locked up?
Yeah, that's heavy right there. That's a good thing right there. And I'm not sure how that worked. It might be a process that, artists got to go through to get their music on there, just like putting it on iTunes and things of that nature. But I know, Ab can sit down and be proud at the end of the day, and just, because at the end of the day, we wouldn't know Low if it wasn't for Ab. So he can sit down and be like, damn, yeah, he working like from past music to, whatever he might hear that's currently, even though I know you said his last two projects wasn't on there. So I know, he proud at the end of the day.
No, you're right, man. To see, the artist that you, pretty much put in the game, to see all of his music actually ending up on this project, I would say that has to make Ab really proud. And I try to remind him, you know what I mean? I try to remind him of how, well Dark Low is doing out here. You know what I mean? So I had told him about, Ab's Low's projects coming up. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, he had Borrowed Time. He had Borrowed Time drop on May 21st, and that was with Harry Fraud. He just dropped Charlie Pope with V-Don on July 23rd. I believe his sentencing is in August, and he has a project with Havoc done. I want to say he is calling the tape Extreme Measures. Low told me that he has got a feature with Styles P. And the only artist featured on Charlie Pope is Willie the Kid on Flawless Bars. I told Ab, I'm going to send you some of Low's lyrics. I'm going to send you some of the lyrics. And because I told him that Low was shouting him out on a record called Big Meech.
That's heavy.
But
That's definitely heavy.
Before we go any further, TWIZZ, let's bring in our co-host, Rosewood, my brother, emanating live from the Drink Champ studio.
Yeah, that joint look heavy, man. You sitting real cozy over there, Rosewood.
Spill studio. That's all we do at the Spill studio, man. Shout out Bottega Boy, shout out Swag 100 Podcast, man. We doing major earth things over here at TWIZZ. You know what we doing in the city.
Salute. You already.
Guy.
Well, so now that we got both of the co-hosts in, now that we got SV TWIZZ and Rosewood Spilly and T officially in the building, we can get on with the show. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Please hit that like button and share this video. Guys, I appreciate you joining me tonight. It's dope that we can actually come on here tonight and talk about Philly unity, Rosewood. It's pretty dope.
Yes, it's really dope. It's really dope. To really be able to shine that light on the city, man. Whereas the unity aspect, there's so much negative things people want to focus on, but there's a lot of positive things that need to be focused on. And the unity is one of them in the city, man.
Facts.
So let's start it off from the start. Let's get right from the beginning, TWIZZ. I want you to break it down. Like, where did Quilly and OT The Real, where did the issues really begin? Could you break that down for everyone watching?
You know, from my perspective, I see as though like it was all music stuff. Quilly had a little situation where he was speaking on Meek, and was like pretty much kind of going in on Meek, and then OT The Real took it upon himself to pretty much get in that and try to speak up for Meek. And that's pretty much the story right there. Quill was going at Meek, and OT The Real got into it because Meek shot OT out before they had like a little relationship or whatever. So he felt as though he was obligated to get involved in that.
Okay. All right. And Rosewood, when these two went at it, what was the Philly perspective? I mean, you yourself, you had told me that OT The Real is at his best when he's making these aggressive records.
Yeah, when he dropped this just to Quilly, the streets went crazy for it. When I came outside that next day, that's the second track that came out by that time, and that's all everybody was talking about. So OT had that summer right there. He definitely had that summer right there because everybody was feeling those tracks. Even with Quilly not responding, it was still good music. So we not really worried about the dissing. We still want good music at the end of the day. That's what he made. He made some good, aggressive Philly music. He did it right.
And TWIZZ, if we were sort of just speculating a little bit, I know Meek probably never said anything on the record, but how do you think he felt about the OT The Real jabs and records at Quilly? You think he was like, I don't need to respond to that. Bull just gave him everything he could handle.
Well, I think he wouldn't have responded either way, but I also feel like he was sitting back probably like, yeah, get him type of shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like, go ahead, get that nigga. That was probably his state of mind, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. And let's be honest, even though, OT The Real had took up for Meek and went against Quilly, he didn't lose any endorsements. Like, he kept on getting support from the likes of Wallow, Gilly. We've seen him more recently working with Joel Ortiz, Beanie Siegel. He kept working, even though he was going through, like I say this a lot. When you go through adversity and you have everybody watching you, it depends on what your next move is going to be. It's like, do you really want to have a music career, or did you really just want to live for that moment?
Yeah, that's facts right there. That's facts right there.
And so I wanted to ask TWIZZ, how was Philly feeling about OT The Real going at Quilly, knowing what I just said with like all the embrace that he was getting from a city that he wasn't really from? How did they feel to be going at somebody that, Philly loves Quilly? They've given him chance after chance, you know what I mean? Because he makes great music.
The city was just waiting for a response, you know what I mean? Because we know what Quilly do, you know what I mean? People was just looking for the entertainment and wanted to hear the response, because when OT The Real do a diss, he throw all haymakers, bro. Like, his joint, like, damn, he just said that though. So people was waiting for the response, but Quill did the OT what Meek did to him at that time.
Facts, TWIZZ, facts.
Salute, Lewis.
Salute Buffalo on the tap in tonight.
Salute the whole Buffalo.
So now that we've covered where it all begun and what came from it with the outcome, let's talk about these two actually coming back together. Rosewood, you had recently told me that OT The Real and Quilly had a performance at the same venue. Take me into the scene that played out that night, man.
Well, first of all, I gotta give a shout out and congratulations to my guy Velcro. A very talented artist in the city. He just got signed to French Montana Cool Boys right now, and he throws the annual Crew Fest at Red Wine Steakhouse. it was a movie in there, man. And if anybody wants to see the footage of it, it's up on the Swag 100 Podcast YouTube page, Swag 100 Podcast website.com. So you can check out the behind the scenes footage. You know, them actually linking up and talking. But Velcro actually linked them together before the show even started and squashed the beef on Instagram. So then once they got in there, the energy was all positive. Energy was all love. You know, it was several different neighborhoods from the city in there, and it was all love and unity. So I got to give up to Velcro for bringing these artists together, man. You know, because usually it would take like a top name celebrity or something to bring that together and end it, but it doesn't have to be like that. And Velcro showed the city, like, look, if we really mess with each other, we can bring each other together and really, you know, showcase this music in the city, showcase the talent in the city, man. There's a lot of performances the other night. You know, Quilly performed, OT performed, Velcro, OBH Razor, 1600 Guns and White Now performed. Frenchie from Brick Squad was up in the building. Salute my guy Frenchie, man. He tore it the fuck down. So, you know, shout out to Velcro for really putting that together, man, because it's really what he's doing.
Yeah, major salute to Frenchie, definitely, man. One of the original Brick Squad guys. Man, TWIZZ, I got to ask, what do you think, you know? What do you think about Quilly and OT The Real, putting aside all of their maybe what some people would consider petty issues and showing unity for the city? I mean, these two guys raised up their arms together. You know what I mean? That showed you that something, it's bigger. You know what I mean? It's bigger than just two guys. They're doing this for more than just themselves, man. What did you think about that?
I feel like it's a beautiful thing. You know, like Rosewood said, people stronger together than going at each other, especially when it come to, you know, like Philly artists. Like when it come to Philly artists going back and forth with each other, it's like Chicago artists going back and forth with each other, bro. Like the rappers don't even got to be the ones involved in it. You got people entourages that'll really be going to war. So, you know, anything to be on positive vibes and get this money, you know, put your little pride issues to the side and, you know, chase the bag at the end of the day.
Facts. Chase the bag at the end of the day, man. Put pride aside, man. You know, like my man Swag 100 said, man, reinventing the hip hop culture, man. And that's what we striving to do here in the Philly. Like,
Facts.
you know, I don't look at it as an underground scene, independent scene. It's just one scene in Philly. And showcasing his talent here is what we striving to do, man.
Facts.
So what did the whole Philly think about this, man? What's the whole Philly thinking about this, man? Rosewood, I'm bringing that question to you now with these two guys, these two major names. You know what I mean? You don't see something like this happen all the time. After Beans and Meek went at it, name your Philly beef, man. You didn't see them guys coming together, putting their hands together and raising them up in front of a group of people, man. Like, name any beef. You didn't see them come together like that.
Yeah, no, I can kind of say that, Mikey T. Now, I probably have to think hard and say, but off top, I can't think of any Philly artist beefs. You know, I don't even call them beefs. I call them lyrical exercises. Like any artist that I've never seen them come together like that, but that's why I salute Velcro so much, because that's the first, and not even for my generation, it's for the younger generation to see that, you know, you can spar with the lyrics and you still can come together and get the bag and have the unity in the city. Because like TWIZZ said, it won't be the artists, it'll be the people with the artists. The neighborhood is going against each other. That's not what we're trying to promote here or put out there. So the younger generation can see that it's not one hood against another because two rappers don't agree. You know, that's something that's something we pushing right there. And that was a major event here. It was major, real major, Mikey T. Don't putting the hands up in the air, you know, it was real crazy.
Yeah, it really did look like a major event, man. And you know what we saw happen a few weeks before that, you know, us three actually, we interviewed Kaboom, we interviewed Santos, you know what I mean? So we were really getting in the mix of it and covering it. So to see, you know, Kaboom come on the platform and say, yo, I want to do a rap battle with OT The Real. We can do it at Battle Academy. We can keep it positive. To have Santos on the channel and now see Santos and OT The Real actually posting one another's music. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just feel like, and now ultimately Quilly and OT The Real, I didn't know that this was going to build to something like that, man, but it shows me how bigger it is. You know what I mean? And like you were saying, you had brought up the comparisons of Philly and Chicago. You know what I mean? But I reach out to Ab and get some of his take on this whole situation. You know, I let Ab know a couple things that were going on down about it. So let me get into it right now. This is what Ab had to actually say about OT The Real and Quilly ending everything. He said, "That's what's up, that the men are putting their differences to the side and showing unity. But also, the competitiveness is also exciting for the rap scene in Philly. People can battle and make diss tracks about each other if both parties agree to keep it there. It's for the sport. I just don't agree with taking it outside of the music." So let me repeat that. Ab said, it said, ARAB said, "That's what's up, that the men are putting aside their differences and showing unity. But also the competitiveness is also exciting for the rap scene in Philly. People can battle and make diss tracks about each other if both parties agree to keep it there. It's for the sport. I just don't agree with taking it outside of the music." Listen, look at those lines right there, you guys. If you remember TWIZZ, when we interviewed Kaboom, he spoke on having called, it seemed like it was OT The Real's people. And it's Ab says right here, he says, if both parties agree to keep it there. And it seemed like everybody involved in this situation kind of agreed to keep it there.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? That's big facts right there. We talking about two artists that regardless of their street background, they know that this is a business at the end of the day, man. So, you know, with them keeping it there, it's a good thing. But I also feel like our city got enough potential to go at it with other people also, man. You know, no different than the Locks versus, you know what I'm saying, State Property and Rock. That can also be legendary. So I feel like if you can form a good group, some type of dream team, you know, and on top of making good music, throw the shots when the shots really count at the right artist.
Well, TWIZZ, you know, that's a New York thing right there. That's a New York thing with the Locks versus Dipset. Philly has their own thing they could do. Major Figures versus State Property. You know what I mean? Philly has a thing that they can do. You know what I mean?
But
Philly
was done already.
Yeah, and they like State Property and Figures, not to speak on it. Them two couldn't do it like a versus with each other. It was, you know, it's like real personal with what they had going on. You know, even though they was like one of the big first as far as Philly going back and forth with each other, but it was a lot of personal stuff that went on with that. And but it would be nice if we could see them two unify. You know what I mean? A State Prop and Figure tour together or something like that. Let's not forget.
Oh man, you guys are always guys. We're talking about a versus right now, man. I want to see Billy on the stage acting all theatrical, and then I want to see Beans on the stage acting like a bully, and then I want to see Freeway on the stage acting like he's the number 2 man, and then I want to see Spado jumping up like he's the, you know what I mean, and then I want to see Ablava jumping up with his lyrical credentials, and then I want to see Oskino jump up with his crazy ass. You know, I want to see that.
Well, Mikey, you know what made those things so much energy, because it was really stuff behind it. You know what I'm saying? It was really like it was really energy behind it. You know what I mean? The energy behind it brings the, you know, it's hard to explain. I see what you're saying, Mikey, but it could be done. You know, I don't feel as though them two groups shouldn't.
I'm all set with the tour, bro, and I think Gilly realizes that as well. Like, bro, it ain't there for them. Like it ain't really there. Like, I mean, don't get it wrong. Beans and State Property, they're doing more touring than Major Figures because they had more music out there. I want to say, What We Do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Beans Records, Young Gun Records, all of them coming together really is something more. But if Gilly and Wallow do their own show, I could see Major Figures versus State Property being an episode on it.
It's possible. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, anything possible.
Anything possible. And bringing the unity back to the city, that shows everybody that it can be done. You putting a positive outlook out there. If you keep putting the positive out there, then things like that can happen.
Facts.
They'll really be major for the city. They'll be major for all age groups in the city. And like I said, it's to show the younger generation that it's the same thing that Ab said. It's a lyrical exercise. It's not supposed to lead into no street stuff. Your pride gets put to the side and you go at your lyrical prowess. You bring your A game, not your name. And that's the name of the game right there. So it's to show the younger generation that you can, like TWIZZ said, get the shots when needed. Whenever you going at it. It's not to touch your skill. It's not to touch your gangster, your manhood. It's to touch your rap skill.
Right. That's a part right there that I really wanted you to trigger in on, Rosewood. Ab said that competitiveness is also exciting for the rap scene in Philly. And that's what we saw with OT The Real and Santos. We saw them too put out records that were actually stimulating the scene. You know what I mean? It was getting a rise. It was getting a rise out of all the fans. It made me realize who Santos was. So if it made me realize who he was, you got to imagine how many other people that OT The Real woke up. So what do you think about that? The fact that these guys, Rosewood, are using this as a competitive, they're using the competitive nature as a spin for their music career.
That's how it's supposed to be. Because the competitive nature is going to draw the fans in to listen to the music. And it's always going to have people tapping in to the raw element. Salute is going to tap everybody into the raw element of Philly. That's one of the key elements of Philly is battling. So it's nothing new to us. So when people can go at it, bring good music, that's why I said I don't call it beefing. It's lyrical exercise. That's all it is. So when they can bring the lyrical exercise to the public's going to take it in.
Facts.
So let's get right back to it. Appreciate you, Death of the Clout Chaser, bro.
Definitely appreciate you, bro.
We gotta have you back on the show soon as well, man. So
definitely.
So TWIZZ, was there anything else that you wanted to add to ARAB's thoughts? For everyone just tuning in, I will read them back one more time. Ab said in regard to OT The Real and Quilly finally squashing their beef, their issues, or however you wanted to look at it, as Rosewood says, a lyrical exercise. I think it was a little bit deeper than that. But ARAB said, that's what's up, that the men are putting their differences to the side and showing unity. But also, competitiveness is exciting for the rap scene in Philly. People can battle and make diss tracks about each other if both parties agree to keep it there. It's for the sport. I just don't agree with taking it outside of the music. So before we move on, TWIZZ, was there anything else you wanted to address from Ab's statement?
What I wanted to definitely address is, Ab is I look at Ab's statement right there is 98% right. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that is the competitiveness definitely counts. But I feel like when you are a person from Philly and you rap, if you're not at a signed level, the diss tracks always end up going left. Now, say for instance, if Meek had a team with him when Drake came at him or whatever, you're talking about I know he got the Dream Chasers, but I'm talking about like active rappers that would have been on Drake ass and was hot. Just how Hov was able to State Property on Nas and and the Locks. That's
Yep.
where I feel like it would count. I feel like you got to make good music, get in position, and then be ready for them diss tracks. You know what I mean? Make it a professional diss track. Whereas though when you just stuck in the streets, and you doing them diss tracks, I don't think that can really boost your career to the next level. People might look at you, but will they ride around and listen to your music? You know what I'm talking about? So that's how I see it. I feel like you should get in position and be prepared, just like Meek should have been prepared for Drake at that time.
Yeah, he should have knew. He should have knew that Drake. I mean, look what Drake did even to Common when he made "Stay Scheming." He put French Montana on probably his biggest record, and took a shot at Common, who we all looked at as a lyrical genius, and we all respected the shot too.
Facts.
What up, Lendale? Appreciate you for tapping in tonight. Don Philly, appreciate you for tapping in as well. Major salute to everybody for tapping in tonight. Had to get ARAB's thoughts on OT The Real and Quilly actually coming together and squashing their issues. Ab had also said OT The Real has a lot of songs on the core links. He even has one with Low on here. I'm about to purchase some and take a listen. Also, OZ Sparks has a tape on here as well. That's my cousin Kaz's artist. I'm going to purchase that as well. He said they just recently put Albee Al's tape on here. So I purchased it, and that joint is fire. He has a track with Low on here, and I want to reach out to him. And then he asked me to get Albee Al's information. Dark Low has a record on Albee Al's project. Dark Low has a record on OT The Real's project. So it's safe to say, TWIZZ, Dark Low's name is bubbling in those jails.
Facts. Dark Low just talked to the streets, period, in his music. So at the end of the day, if you from the streets, or even the people that's not from the streets, his music going, grab onto you. You know what I mean? He just one of those artists where he know how to talk, he know how to make good music.
Yep. And Rosewood, man, we recently interviewed Kaboom. So I also wanted to bring up our recent joints, Kaboom, Santos. Boom, he really kept it friendly, with talks of a battle. And we saw, as I said earlier, Santos and OT The Real actually poached each other's music. You know what I mean? We saw OT The Real and Santos actually post each other's music in their story. Santos said he put me on my A game. OT The Real embraced him as a great artist, man. How do you feel about that energy coming from all of this?
Hey, man, I feel great about that energy, because that's how it's supposed to be. There's not supposed to be any hurt feelings and none of that, emotions and all that. Listen, if they already had a relationship before this, they were cool before this, it should stay that. It shouldn't be any media outlets manipulating it. The streets shouldn't be manipulating it. Social media manipulating what the relationship really is. And as long as they keep the same relationship, it's a great thing. It's a real great thing. Like Santos said, got me on my A game. Sometimes you need somebody to put that battery in your back.
Fact.
So it's just like I said, man. It's lyrical exercise, Mikey T. It's a sport. It's a sport.
TWIZZ, how do you feel about the fact that Santos and OT The Real buried it all?
Definitely exactly. I agree with what Rosewood said at the end of the day. Regardless of whatever was said in the rap, when you sit down and think about it, y'all two people that's on the same mission, bro. You know what I mean? Regardless if one person is getting more light on them at the time, y'all both was on the same mission. Y'all both understand the struggle. And, why not play chess? And I feel like that was OT's state of mind the whole way. Was, I'm a wake the city up real quick. Let's get everybody involved in this. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's definitely good. All they gotta keep doing is keep pushing that music out now. You know what I mean? What's the next step? Now it's time to get on the track together and murder it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, TWIZZ, let's not get too far, because they came together on IG, like Rosewood was saying. You know what I mean? Step one. You know what I mean? Step one actually agreeing to the conversation. Step 2, actually having the conversation. Now, they made the next step pretty quickly when they both were at this show and they actually both embraced each other. So now that was the next step, actually seeing each other in public in a positive manner. Now, you're right. Maybe we can get on to the music. You know what I mean? Maybe we can get onto the music. Quilly seems like he's in a really good space right now. Whether he's living in Miami or not, I'm not too sure. You know, Quilly is a master of the headlines lately. You know what I mean? But he's also a master in the booth, Rosewood. He's got talent.
Facts.
Yeah, definitely got talent, man. Facts. And he know how to bring an entertainment factor. That's one thing he's going to bring, entertainment. He's going to bring entertainment, man. So I can see songs being made. You know, it might have been songs made that night, you know, after the show. You know, that's how things work. If the vibe is there and the energy definitely was there. So the guys linked up after the show and hit the booth. And, you know, it possibly can be tracks already done between them.
Well, you know, sorry, TWIZZ. You know, OT The Real was actually saying before he went off and recorded Flame Off and Murder Rate, he was actually working on his album. You know, so potentially we could get Quilly on an upcoming OT The Real album and vice versa, you know, with Quilly making new music. But I also wanted to tap into the fact that I had let Ab know that Beans was running around crazy, getting back to his touring. You know, I don't know. I know you've seen the pictures, Rosewood. Beans, young Chris, Petey Crack, looking like $1 million bucks. You know what I'm saying? Coming to Connecticut, doing other states. Benny the Butcher getting back on his grind. This is what Ab had to say. Ab was like, I hope my bro Benny gets to tour and make millions. He's a good man, and him and his team always showed me and my team love. And I'm happy. Yeah, so let's touch on that right there first. The fact that Benny the Butcher, TWIZZ, I'm gonna come to you first. Benny the Butcher really, like, he blew up, and then it's like he took the touring so well, man. It's like his life went from being in a studio recording the Tana Talk, Plugs I Met, to then being from tour to tour to tour, 30 to 50-day tour at a time, man. How much do you think that actually changed his life?
I feel like it changed it a whole lot, and I feel like he was ready for it all. You know, just to see his work ethic, and you know, I heard a few Jones and Hum and Dark, you know, on a track together. You know, them two was making great tracks and things of that nature. And I like his style of music. You know what I mean? His stuff not watered down. He give that old classic hip hop feeling. So salute to the Butcher.
Hell yeah, man.
Benny the Butcher, man. My
Right.
God.
He was frequenting, you know, he was making frequent appearances in Philly, huh, Rosewood? The Philly really embraces Griselda.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, just to shed a little light on it, Griselda was coming to Philly before, you know, they were really known. You know, they've been banging with OBH. You know, it's been a connection there
Yup.
with Griselda
Facts.
and OBH that nobody really even know. You know, so that's really family right there. You know, when they come to Philly, that's family.
That's how I felt about Butcher and them, was from them coming and pulling up on OVH.
Facts, see? Yeah.
Man, West Side Gun, you know, West Side Gun is a master A&R, man. He knows who to work with. Benny the Butcher went and worked with Dark Low, you know, before he was all the way lit. And then Benny the Butcher came back and worked with Dark Low when he was all the way lit. Literally took his chain off of his neck, you know, the big ass Griselda blinged out chain, and he put it in Dark Low's hand. You can see it at the beginning of the video. And Dark Low was holding the chain. You know what I'm talking about, right, TWIZZ?
Facts. I know what you're talking about. Big facts.
That's the love. That's the love right there.
Definitely solid when you can see somebody like Benny the Butcher actually come back. You know what I mean? When he's in a whole nother place. Like when I asked TWIZZ that question about Benny the Butcher doing all that touring and how it changes your life, it takes you out of the lifestyle that you're living and it puts you somewhere completely, totally else. You know what I mean? And it probably makes it so you never have to go back to where you once were.
Facts. It shows you that it's a lot more to life.
Yep. Facts, Twiz. There's a lot more to life, man. There's definitely a lot more to life. And as you never forget where you came from and the people that were coming up with you. And that's a real big thing in Philly. In Philly, we always salute the people that came up with us. It don't matter what level you on, where you at, you never going to forget the people that started it. You're going to get on their flowers and the people that came up with you. You know,
Facts.
so everybody in your peer group, whatever age bracket it is, you're gonna show homage to those people you were going up against.
Facts.
You know, that's the love of the city, man.
Plus, I mean, Dark Low and Benny the Butcher together, they made some dope music. I'm just putting it out there. I think the next BSF, the Black Soprano Family album on E1, I think it should feature Dark Low. I'm just saying.
It just might. It just might.
You know, I think it would give it a whole lot of more interest, to be honest with you, man. Let me see. King Smog said, first time I heard Gun was with DJ Q Beat. Griselda gets love from the backpack rap heads like Q-Bert to the mainstream heads like Rick Ross. Yeah. West Side Gun is original. You know what I mean? West Side Gun is more than original. He's unique. You know what I mean? And he didn't give a damn. You know what I mean? He didn't give a damn. He was going to be himself. That's when you really know you've got it. You know what I mean? When you can just be yourself. Like, look at us three, myself, TWIZZ, and Rosewood. You got three individuals on here.
Facts. You can be yourself. That's what it's really being about, being original. When they say being original, it's just being yourself. You don't have to over-exaggerate anything. You don't have to put on a facade. You don't have to imitate something else to make yourself hot. You be yourself. Your energy is going to carry from there. And that's one thing Westside Gun provides is that energy where you can be yourself. You don't have to be a rapper like this or a rap like that. You can be totally different. You can be yourself. And that's what it's about, man.
So we were talking about, you know, obviously Benny the Butcher returning to his active tour life. And we had mentioned Beans, you know what I mean? Bringing back State Property. Because like I said earlier, man, you know, like State Property, they still got a name when it comes to touring. All those guys, they all have property when it comes to touring, sort of like Banks and G Unit and 50 and Buck selectively. But Beans, Freeway, they've Young Guns, these guys got hits. But Petey Crack looks great too, you guys.
Yeah. Shout out Crack.
Shout out Crack. Yes, sir.
What do you think about this, TWIZZ? State Property being able to actively tour 20 years after their last, you know, album.
It's beautiful, man. You know, it's a beautiful thing. And I know they love the feeling. You know, State Prop got the tendency of, you know, popping up together and being as a group and pushing music out within every few years. So I feel like right now with them doing that, it's a great thing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, because there's so much going on. And this was probably like their first main appearance after, you know, the virus had hit America and all of that. So, you know, it's great to see that.
Yeah, and let's not get it twisted, though, because I remember interviewing Neef. I remember interviewing Freeway back in 2015, 2016. These guys were touring then. They were touring then. People love to see State Property come and tour. They love to see Beans and Free on the stage together. It's nostalgia, I guess you could say, Rosewood.
Yeah, it's definitely nostalgia. It's definitely nostalgia, and it's just an era of hip hop that will never be forgotten.
Facts.
It would never be forgotten. It's timeless. It's timeless, man. You can play it 20 years from now, so it'll be 40 years, and that music still be timeless.
Facts.
Yeah, TWIZZ, you know, I want to get your thoughts on the fact that, you know, a lot of people would say favorite rapper, Tupac, Big, Jay-Z. Ab, favorite rapper, Beanie Siegel. but he gets the pass on it. How does he get the pass with naming Beanie Siegel as his favorite rapper, even when you got as the guys other guys I met Eminem, you know,
because Tupac, him being the great rapper that he is, Biggie the great rapper that he is, Eminem being the great rapper that he is, Beanie Siegel was the voice of the average kid growing up in the streets of Philly with the struggle. All that when he was, you know, the 4-wing salt, pepper, ketchup, hot sauce, the Louisiana bag of chips, all that type of stuff. You know, it hit different. You know what I'm talking about? It hit different for us. Like, you know, that like I said before, man, they were so impactful to the city. Sieg and State Prop, that's the only rappers in the world that had like the whole city and tri-state wearing their gear. All you saw was state property gear through the whole city, man. It's like they gave us hope because they was like, you know, they like us, bro. You know what I mean? And they was also out in the streets, and you could see them. You might go up 52nd Street and see Oskino in a Jag or something like that. You know what I mean? You might catch Beans down Ishkabibbles. You know what I mean? And they was everything that they rapped about. You know what I mean? As far as how they carried themselves, it wasn't no Hollywood attitude. If you bump into these guys, they always showed love, embraced this, and they kind of told the average kid story that was growing up in the streets.
That was facts right there.
That's what's up. Rosewood, obviously I gotta ask, is there anything you want to add to that? Because geez, that has to be a moment that could be sold as an NFT right there, TWIZZ.
Facts.
Definitely.
Someone make that as an NFT and cut us
in. It was a lifestyle, man. It was a lifestyle.
No, but you know, I see what you're saying, you know, because all of these guys, you know, whether Jay-Z from, you know, Brooklyn or Eminem from Detroit, you know, Beans from Philly, you know, Beans made just as much of an, from what you're saying to me, is like Beans made just as much of an impact on you guys as the regular everyday dude in Philly as these other dudes did in their own cities, man.
Facts. Facts.
Like TWIZZ said, it was like they were representing the average Philly person, man. And they were tangible. You can go to South Street and see them. You can go to 52nd Street and see them. You might be at Max's and see one of them. But you know, you never knew. You could always get in tune with State Prop. That was one thing when State Prop was rocking in the city, and the city was rocking, all the clubs, Sweet 450, Palmers, all those clubs were rocking. You know, they'd be posted outside. And, you know, you could come up to them. There was no Hollywood stuff with them. It was straight Philadelphia. It was straight Philadelphia. If you want to know about Philadelphia and feel Philadelphia, you had to be in that era right there, the State Prop era. That's why I said it was a lifestyle. It was legendary. It would go down in hip-hop history forever. The whole movement.
So let's get into what Ab had to say about Beans and, you know, State Property picking up touring again, as TWIZZ said, now that the pandemic is over. And before we get into that, I just wanted to note this comment from Iceberg. He said, "Yer, salute Kings, Rosewood looking like a young Suge Knight today. I see you, player. Player.
CEO mode activated."
Did you see the portion of the interview with Dark Low, TWIZZ, when he was talking about how people used to say he looked like Tupac?
No, I didn't see that one. I remember the Harden John, the James Harden though.
Yeah,
you didn't see the part where you didn't see the part where Dark Low was like, "Yeah, I was always dancing like Tupac back in the day, doing the arm dance." What was the? Yo, can somebody do the Tupac arm dance for me right now?
I can't do it, man. Yeah, there you go, Rose.
Okay. You know, Jug had to bring it back for you.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I thought he was saying this. I thought not this, Rosewood.
No.
One more time.
Listen, shout out to my man Smoke Dot, man. Shout out to my man Smoke Dot. Listen, the biggest pop in the world.
Yo,
That's how
one
you do
more
the pop,
time,
man.
Rosewood. One
Come
more.
on,
One more
Mikey
time.
D, man. I don't even got no music. That was just off the rip. That wasn't even premeditated. That was just off the rip.
Man,
That's why. So now when you put me on the spot, I need some music. I gotta hear some pop to actually do it.
am I doing too much?
Thug life.
Yeah, you gotta do the thug life up there.
West side till we die.
It's a certain bounce you gotta do to Mikey T. Like when you roll your
I
arms,
made
it's
a
a certain West
mistake.
Coast.
You gotta
Right.
get that.
It's the West
You gotta
Coast.
get that
It's really
Henny
a
in
West
you. You know
Coast
what
thing.
I'm saying?
Damn, I
It's really a West Coast thing.
Yeah, I get around. Yup, I get around. Joint.
Get around.
Yup.
Iceberg on
West
point
Coast
as
down.
always.
But
Iceberg
yeah,
always on point.
let's get back into it, you guys, because I let Ab know a few things about what's going on in the industry. We got to keep his ear to what's going on. And
Fact.
Beans is, as me and TWIZZ were just talking, Beans is actually Ab's favorite rapper. So this is what Ab had to say, man. He was like, he's like, yo, I'm happy to hear that Beans is moving around again. And also Chris and Petey. I F's with Chris and Petey. I had the pleasure of hanging around them two guys a lot, and they're good men. They're deserving of more than they're getting. Liz, when we were just on with Dark Low, he still put Petey Crack on his top 5 list. So basically respond to this part of the message where Ab is saying about Petey and Chris that he knows that they're good men and deserving of more than they're actually getting.
Yeah, man, it's 100% right. Well, we gotta, we can't put them in the same bag, even though they was part of state property. Chris was a workaholic. You know what I'm saying? I really don't understand why he not in a certain position. Crack, I feel like he just at times I feel like he enjoy, he comfortable on his own skin. I got an interview with him also when he had spoke on it, and he just love enjoying life right now. You know what I mean? He love being able to wake up with his family and do what he want when he can and things of that nature. But he loves to get back in the ring also. I just feel like Crack need to be more consistent with his music. That's all he need to do.
Well, when I did an interview with Petey, he had actually spoke to me about returning to Def Jam and getting to finish up the Prince of the Rock album, which, you know what I mean?
Heavy.
AZ just ended up leaving Def Jam a little bit quicker than I think everybody thought,
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's another reason why too. I think that was dealing in the industry. This for everybody in the comments, everybody watching. Dealing in the industry, you'll get blows that make you discouraged. It doesn't matter what level you on, you'll get discouraged. And when you get discouraged, it takes like all the wind out of your sails.
Facts.
So now there's certain things that happen in a row, and then you're really discouraged, depression set in, and then you're like, yo, I'm not even in the mood, because it's not the same situation as when I came in, so especially with JP leaving,
all right,
there's different
Rosewood
up there.
Let me play devil's advocate now. Let me play devil's advocate, because you can have that where it's seemingly like, all right, the artist is right. The artist is using his creative perspective. But then you have the situation where the guy's getting $8,000, $10,000. He's in the Hilton Hotel. He's got an Explorer waiting downstairs for him. Or what's the cars called now that they be riding in?
The Tahoes and all that.
They got the Tahoe. They got the Tahoe waiting outside, and they're just like, yo, I got to be somewhere at this time. Nah, I don't care. I'm not going there. I got money. I don't give a damn. I'm staying in my hotel room all day and ordering room service, and I'm going to write some raps. You know what I mean? You got to look at it. You got to show both perspectives is all I'm saying.
No, true. No, you're right, because TWIZZ hit on it. Crack wasn't consistent. That was the thing. It doesn't matter, whatever switched up. As long as your team and your management is strong, you're going to still make that push, make the music, do the shows, do what you got to do. figure the best situation out for you. You really have everything set up for you to make the bag. They're getting mailbox money. He got flip side out. So you can keep going. So at the same token, you are right. There was lack of consistency right there. And that's what the streets really. If I see Crack, I tell him, yo, man, we want the music. We want the music. Where the music at?
But I also see it from your perspective of somebody does something, they get disappointing results, they get the results they didn't feel they should get, and they're like, what's the point? What's the point? I don't even need to do this. I don't even want to do. I think the point is that check that you got. You know what I mean? But
it's different when you don't got that energy though. When you don't have the passion for it, it seems like a hard ass job.
And it's also different when when these people were artists and they were making money at the time of them being an artist, where they had machines behind them. Now they like out there by themselves, and they see these Instagram babies winning by themselves. So they, that like they still kind of old school. They still old heads and things of that nature. So Instagram also kind of it's like putting a video on YouTube. The ocean is bigger now. You know what I mean?
Well, Petey Crack Petey Crack is really good on camera.
Facts.
Did you notice that from your interview with him? He's really good on camera.
Facts. He got a great character. You know what I'm saying? Definitely got great characters.
Yeah, Crack though, man. Definitely always been a charismatic guy, man. Fun guy, man.
So Ab said Beans is moving. He said, I'm happy to hear that Beanie Siegel is moving around again, and also Chris and Petey. I F's with Chris and Petey. I had the pleasure of hanging around them two guys a lot. Rosewood, what could you speculate about Ab hanging out with Chris and Petey Crack a lot for? Is it because they live close to one another, or is it because I noticed that before Ab got locked up, Chris was coming around a lot, and I sort of speculated that Chris would have been on the Beanie Siegel album with A.R.A.B. had Ab and Beanie got to make the Goon and the Bully.
Oh yeah. Now the thing is, what it is the music scene in Philadelphia is everybody knows everybody, and everybody supports everybody. You might not see it on screen, on camera, but everybody supports everybody. If you really making a push in the city, you making a movement, the other top, like I said before earlier, everybody pays homage to everybody, no matter what level you are in the city. We're going to back you because we know how hard it is to make it out of the city.
Okay.
So when people are putting projects together, you might never know. It might not be televised until it comes out. So it's the hip hop scene in the city is really connected, man. It's really, really connected. And we really support everybody that's really making the push out here, whether you see it on camera or not.
So TWIZZ, if I were to ask you, would it sort of be like, Petey Crack and Young Chris? They know A.R.A.B. is the hot rapper. They sort of want to be in the studio with the hot rapper.
It's just I feel like it's the generational love. It's like you gotta remember like how Crack said, he had people like Black Thought come up to him. You know what I mean? Artists from the roots where they was a generation or two ahead of them. Jazzy Jeff, people like that's coming to these guys and embracing these guys. So I feel as though with artists like them, they being OGs, like I said, you can look at OBH and look at them as the modern day state prop. Like, damn, it takes a lot to build a group like that, no matter how easy Ab made it look. Everybody can't do that. Everybody can't have people playing their position and making sure your whole team is getting in the studio, putting projects out at certain times. So I feel like they respected the work ethic and was just showing love as OGs, like we see y'all. Crack and Chris, and even when Beans pulled up on Ab, they know what that means to the upcoming groups and the upcoming artists under them.
Yeah. It makes Ab believe that what he's doing is a reality. But then also all the other people, like you even, TWIZZ, who, you know, when you Rosewood, when you go around and you're around Razor, or, you know, you get the opportunity to be around Dark Low, and then you see somebody like that pop up and showing interest in them, you know, I liken it to the energy, you know. Ab had that energy when he was out here, man. He had the energy that everybody wanted to be around because you knew he was next up, man. And didn't somebody earlier say, yeah, I think you were saying earlier, TWIZZ, in regard to Meek versus Drake, if Meek would have had a team around him of people that would just go crazy, you know, like sort of like how when Meek, when O'Malley dissed Ab, Dark Low was right there. You know what I mean? Dark Low was right there. Other OBH members were right there. You know, if Meek would have had more of a team like that to go out like some piranhas onto Drake.
Facts.
Yeah, that's facts.
It would have been a whole different. It would have been more historical. It would have been Locks versus D Block vibes. You know what I mean?
I always say that Drake. I mean, I always say that Meek Mill should have signed ARAB right when Drake mentioned him. Meek should have went to Philly, went to North Philly with $1 million or whatever, $500,000, you know, whatever they do. You know, Yo Gotti, you know, they all do it. They pull up to Black Youngster's hood with a what is it? One of them plastic Walmart bags with $150,000 in it, right?
Well, Mikey, you know, with that, Meek offered to put Ab on up under him. The thing with Ab is Ab understood.
When was that?
This was after when Ab got shot up. If you really rewind back, Ab spoke on it when he was in the hospital bed, and Meek was like, "Listen, bro, just come with me. I got you." But Ab understanding that he built OBH brick by brick, and even with Master P, they had Master P and Cash Money. He can't just take a deal that would just be beneficial for him. That was his trade of thought. Like, we getting all this independent money. If I get signed, my whole group gotta, you know what I'm saying? Let's not forget we got Razor, Dark Low, Breezy Baguettes. Like, OBH is hustling.
Right,
You know what I'm talking
about? So put this in time perspective for me. Ab got hit up before Goons Gone Wild or after?
That was after. I'm talking about the after.
You're talking about because Ab had told us that Meek Mill offered for him to get on Flamers 1. He missed the opportunity because he was being a knucklehead, and he ended up on Flamers 2. So after Flamers 2, Ab got hit up, and then Meek came to him again, is what you're saying, TWIZZ, and said, "Listen, come with me."
Facts.
Okay.
Meek said, "Come with him." But at the time with Flamers, let's not forget, Ab was with Cassidy at that time, so it's like Meek was just still a regular underground artist. So it would have been like, why would I come under an underground artist when I'm on tour with Cass, rocking the Full Surface chain?
Right. Wow. Sounds like something we should really dig into right there with that whole story. Seems like a nice little piece of history right there.
Facts.
To actually break down.
Thanks for that.
You already.
Y'all hit the like button for that one, man.
And like King Smog says, brick by brick. And then, you know, when honestly, when someone says that, whether it's Ab or anybody else, and they go for a label meeting with somebody, not a label meeting. You're not going there for a label meeting. You're going there for an artist meeting, first of all. And then you take that artist meeting as if it's a label meeting. You know, you're like, yeah, I got me and I got A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
facts.
Bro, this wasn't about the whole alphabet. This was about one person. You know what I mean? Facts. And maybe Dark Low. And maybe Dark Low too, because he's cool.
But Mikey T, you gotta look at it. Quilly did the same thing. You know,
facts.
Quilly when he rapped in front of Jay-Z and them, you know, they wanted home, but he said, "Listen, I got the whole major figures with me, and we hot. So listen, if you're gonna sign me, you gotta sign my squad too, and run the right break.
And then
I can't take the money you give it to me."
Right. And then allegedly Jay-Z said, well, go and divide that number by 10. And then I guess, you know?
Facts.
Yeah. Facts. That's what he said. But Quilly's like, no, I'm bringing my team with me.
Ken C says Meek wasn't serious about signing him, though. He was low-key scared of Ab. Ken C, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Based on what you just said, Twiz, I really do disagree with that. I feel like Meek at one point was gonna really not even take Ab under the wing, but just give him a life with him in the industry. Because like you had explained, Twiz, it would have been kind of disrespectful to insinuate that you could take Ab under your wing in the first Flamers era days when he was already on tour with Cassidy, going, as Ab told us, battling. People come up to battle Cassidy, and he was battling them. So it would be kind of absurd for somebody in a lower position to come and be like, hey, man, you come join up with me. You know what I mean? Sort of like 50 Cent asking people to join G Unit when Murder Inc. was popping. It was like, well, what's G Unit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at the same time, Meek had a bright future ahead of him. Because around that time, he was it was the Grand Hustle deal. I don't think he was with Ross yet. He was entertaining the Grand Hustle deal, and then he got with Ross. So he's looking at the moves that he's about to make, and he's like, "Yo, come with me." Mm-hmm. We're about to take off or whatever like that. Come with me, get out the hood.
Facts. But Ab knew that the people would gravitate to him regardless. But he knew he had a team under him that he had. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like, it's us, man. We family. So he was being loyal to his team. That's why another reason why I salute Ab, because he the only artist in Philly that I saw that didn't have a deal that would give somebody cash. Like, he was just like, bro, who he signed? Johnny, you know what I'm saying? A couple other guys, he was just giving them cash like, you with us now. You know what I mean? He was really like, trying to really boss. He bossed all the way up, not trying to. He bossed up as much as he could, and he always put his team before himself.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Ab really did. Ab really did, man. I actually had Johnny on here, Lil Johnny on here telling a story. You know what I mean, about Ab when he, when Ab told him to pull up to Philly, and Ab had given him some bread, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna cash app to you that when I get home, or whatever. I'm gonna get that back to you when I get back home." And then Ab was like, "Nah, man, don't worry about that. I had Starbucks on here talking about getting Starbucks. We've seen various other people though. You know what I mean, who work with ARAB and shit like that. Him putting dudes on." Like, he met Skinny Me's brother. Is it his brother Bayat, older brother, or is it his cousin?
Facts.
He met his brother in jail, and then he held down his word, TWIZZ, and he started working with him. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So we've seen a lot of good from ARAB.
Facts.
Sturdy, man.
Big sturdy. He was trying to take people out the trenches, and bring everybody up, and all the way up to his last days of being on the streets. You would see him randomly on Instagram. Like, if y'all make me beats, y'all rap, whatever, DM me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it. He was always, you know what I'm saying? Free Ab for sure.
Free Ab, free the men.
Facts.
Free Ab and free the men.
Definitely.
Swag 100 podcast. Appreciate you for tapping in. Says, tip through the pop to Rick Ross like Gucci did Coach and P. I'm not sure if that's exactly accurate. It could be, T.I. could have put in a good word to Ross about Meek, but from my understanding, Ross had gone up to a radio station in Philly, and they were doing a live chat similar to what's going on in here tonight, and there were just people in there who were like, Ross was like, "What's the hot song?" At this time, Ross was going by Ricky Rose. Everybody's like, "Rose Red, Rose Red, Rose Red," and then I'm not sure how it played out. I can't exactly remember. I don't remember the DJ. Maybe you could fill me in, Rosewood or TWIZZ. But maybe they called Meek on the spot, and Meek showed up to the radio station in Philly and met Ross.
Facts. If I'm not mistaken, it was Cosmic Kev. You know what I'm saying? Cosmic Kev. They came. Rose had came up to this station, and he was like, "Who the hottest artist in Philly?" This was obviously after him dealing with Tip. You know what I'm saying? But before he was with Tip, and even after he was with Tip, Meek work ethic was crazy. He was throwing parties in the city. Yeah, shout out to Jalil Beats, Jungle Beats, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, facts. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Cav had lined that up in the radio station. But Meek was like one of the biggest workaholics in the city, bro. And all like you be hearing rappers from Philly that might have something on the radio, but his Jones was ringing. The rose red and my diamonds blue. Like people was going crazy in jail on the come up show when that John come up. Come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So his work ethic spoke for itself. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's the story that I had remembered hearing about Rick Ross and Meek Mill. And then they started coming out with the string of Maybach albums, and Ross, Meek, and Wale, really a dope super group. I mean, the second best super group that Ross could have put together following Wiz and Currency reportedly turning him down.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? Rosewood, everyone in the chat, what do you guys think? Would it have been more lucrative if Ross had got Wiz and Currency? Or did it work out better that he ended up with Meek and Wale? TWIZZ, I'll go to you first.
Only time would tell, but I think with Meek and Wale, like they was airing it out, bro. I'm talking about like when they was at the peak, bro. I'm talking about like Meek. That's when Meek took off. I can speak for Meek alone, and Wale was always making music for like the women and things of that nature. He's like more of a lyricist, a MC style rapper. You know what I mean?
He's great, Meek, bro. He's great though, man.
Yeah, he is.
The way he came out with that music, he had to stand out, man, because Meek Mill was so gangster. He said, told my jeweler make a freeze, like he was trying to stick her up. I mean, that's why Wale had to come up with Flower Bomb. What was it called? Lotus Flower Bomb?
Yeah, Lotus Flower Bomb and all that. You know what I'm saying? He was attacking the women and like Meek was attacking everybody because Meek energy, his energy on them tracks, bro. That was the super hungry Meek right there, bro. Like he used to be blacking out.
Yeah, so that could have possibly worked out in Ross's better interest. Rosewood, what's your take on it, man?
Now, I would definitely say, like TWIZZ said, only time I could tell, but I think that was a better lineup because you had the hungry Meek. You had Wale getting in the situation with other hungry artists where you really was like a boot camp over there, and you really had to spit off the best lyrics you got, bring the best songs you got. And I just want to say that I gotta give credit to Meek by putting out so many good bodies of work before he even got to exist for Ross.
Facts.
From the best of Meek Mills to the Flaming series, the stuff he did on Headshots. Like TWIZZ is saying, his work ethic was crazy. So when he got there, his portfolio was already lit with so many bars and so many, lyrics. So when he got up there, he was ready for the boot camp. He was snapping on everything. So with Ross seeing that, I think it only made sense to bring that together.
Facts.
Attacking Wale, attacking Meek.
And one thing I just gotta speak on that also is let's not forget with Rick Ross doing that, he revived Meek because after the T.I. deal, if nothing else would have came through for him, who knows where Meek Mill would be at today? You know what I'm saying? Who knows where Meek would be at? Rick Ross,
TWIZZ, hold up. You were just saying, TWIZZ, you were just saying yourself, Meek Mill was doing mad parties. Meek Mill had Rose Red. He had Rose Red. I think it was a foregone conclusion that Meek Mill was going to get picked up.
That's
It's
not
local.
necessarily true though,
Local.
because that's
It's
not
local.
necessarily yeah, because every artist that we know, even from the DVD era, they all had deals in front of them. Look at Carrie Payton. Look at Quilly. That's a prime example. He's super hot. He make great music, but if the right people don't pick you up, you know what I'm saying? Then you won't get picked up. We got a million spitters out Philly. Gary, yeah, that the real Gary Payton right there. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, that thing look good right there, man.
Oh
Damn.
yeah, that's some
I can
honorable.
smell it through the screen, Mikey. God damn.
That's some honorable right there. That's some honorable.
Yeah, but
That's
I,
some
I
honorable.
I I feel like Rick Ross really he picked Meek back up at the perfect time that a lot of artists from our city don't get the opportunity to. We got a lot of spitters out there, Mikey. You know what
Well,
I
I
mean?
mean, that's like saying, all right, it's kind of like Meek having a machine behind him, like Young Buck getting picked up to G Unit. That's what you can kind of compare it to. Although I don't really think Young Buck had too many popping records out, like Meek did. He had that album with D-Tay. I don't know if you remember. He had
Yeah,
an album with D-Tay,
But
so
that
he
wasn't
must have
like
been moving, huh?
that wasn't like Flamers though.
yeah, it
Flamers
wasn't.
Oh,
forced
it
us to
must
get
have been
bills.
comparable, bro, because he was moving some units.
It might have been, but I just know Flamers was all the Flamers are crazy.
Yeah,
And
they
then you got, like I
Flamers.
said, you got a bet. You had the best of Meek Mills on all mixtape stuff. Like he already
Facts.
had a best of Meek Mills out, and that was everything on there, all the bangers. So I do believe it came in like a double CD.
All right, well, I'm just maybe Lloyd Banks or Lil Wayne are more comparable on the mixtape circuit to Meek Mill, but I'm just saying Young Buck did have some material bubbling, but I would say probably Meek Mill might have been a little bit more known musically. Young Buck might have been a little bit more known to run with different cliques, but
Okay.
Facts.
he ended up making something of his career, though.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was saying my
Young Buck.
body's at work.
Young Buck is like a better feature artist. You know what I'm saying? He better on the feature, if you ask me.
I don't even think Meek Mill has had a better album than Buck the World or Straight Outta Cashville. What are you talking about, Twiz?
I don't know. I mean, like I never witnessed nobody riding around listening to Buck. But you can go to
What?
any. I didn't, bro. I never. Rosewood, you ever hear somebody? You might have heard somebody riding around listening to the 50, Get Rich or Die Trying, or
Rosewood.
something like that.
Buck on the song. No,
Rosewood.
no,
They weren't
no,
listening.
no,
They weren't listening to.
no,
You don't hear them listening to
Not
Young
out
Buck.
Philly.
no. Buck was a good feature. We going back with Buck on
Facts.
the features. So Get Rich or Die Trying soundtrack, all that. The Walk With Me joint,
Facts.
Lemon 50, banger. But just
Facts.
to
Hey,
go out and get Buck
Walk with
album,
Me is a solo. Walk with Me is a solo Buck track, man.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But it's going to Get Rich or Die Trying, so it got forced upon us.
All
So
right,
it's
Facts.
like, okay, we
all
going back to that.
right. All right. Well, let me hit since you guys want to go that deep with it. Let me hit you with this then. Meek Mill has not sold as many units as Young Buck did first week. Young Buck's first album moved 262,000 units, 261,000 units. Meek Mill's highest record sales is like 250,000 first week.
Numbers
But
don't
he
mean
got,
nothing, man. Sometimes. Sometimes
hold
numbers
on.
don't mean nothing.
I was about to say, you got 50 Cent behind you with the biggest machine behind him.
Exactly.
You going to sell. You're going to
Exactly.
sell.
The
That
question
marketing
is,
campaign was excellent.
exactly. The question is who, if you had to pick one album to ride around to, would it be a Buck album or would it be a Meek album? Which
Yo,
album would have you
saying
the
it
most
right now.
energetic?
I'm saying it right now. Meek Mill doesn't have a better album than Straight Outta Cashville or Buck the World.
Meek is a way better artist than Buck.
I will
Yeah, I'm
agree.
gonna say
I'll agree with you there. I'll agree. I'll agree with you there. But I will say this: Meek Mill, to me, hasn't had a better album front to back than Young Buck's first two. But that might be because 50 was sitting there like an evil genius putting those together.
Yeah, 50 was the evil genius. 50
Fact.
was the evil
Like,
genius.
yes. 50 was
Because
the
then Buck added to some few songs on Get Rich or Die Trying album.
You already boogied down. Roll
Boogie
rap.
Down.
For sure,
Like-
for sure.
Yo, I'm being real right now, you guys. I've listened to those albums. I've listened to Dream Chasers. What was his second album? Money can. What was his second album called? Money Can Buy You Dreams or something.
You talking about Dreams is Nightmare? What you talking about?
Meek Mill's second album.
Why you come on, man? Like Meek music is way more impactful than anything Buck ever put out there. Album sales is one thing. That's like saying, for instance, bro, like listen, Mikey, I'm gonna keep it a stack. Soulja Boy is an entrepreneur. Salute Prophecy. He gets plenty of money, but I'm pretty sure he can be like, I got an album that sold more than Gangsta and the Gentleman. Or I sold more than Gangsta and the Gentleman from Styles P. That don't make him a better artist. It's just the marketing, the skills, and everything. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta remember, when Buck was putting stuff out, Meek wasn't even signed yet. Buck was like before Meek. Like Buck was
Yeah, I'm telling you, some of those records, not Get Buck. I'm not talking about Get Buck, you guys. I'm not talking about
Came to my mind
Buck.
when you said it too.
You know what I mean? But all right, let's talk about Shorty Wanna Ride compared to All Eyes on Me with Meek and Nicki. Shorty Wanna Ride is better than All Eyes on Me with Nicki.
Yeah, you can pick songs, but what TWIZZ is saying, the impact that Meek has with those albums, it is different than Young Buck.
Facts.
Listen to a Young Buck album.
Like if Buck come out now, he can't. If Buck and Meek drop the same day, he not outselling Meek right now.
No, you're 100% right.
Yeah. Facts, TWIZZ. Facts.
Mars says it's all because of 50 and his hype. Do you think it had to do you think his sales not being where they are today, it proves that it was all 50's hype from back in the past?
That's a big fact. It's a big fact. 50's a marketing genius. He's a marketing genius.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Banks is a beast. Now, Banks is somebody where we could be like, he's a lyrical monster, man. Like, Banks is nice. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, like,
But the way 50 marketed it, and to have Interscope and production by Dr. Dre and Eminem behind you.
exactly.
Right. Not to mention the biggest record label in the world, Interscope. You know, Meek wasn't over there at Interscope. Although I think Meek Mill, Dr. Dre, and Jimmy Iovine would have been a great pairing. But as we all said earlier, it was really Ross coming on, like how we started talking about this. Meek Mill joined up with MMG and he got that push on a major, sort of like Buck jumping on the G Unit and getting that push from a major, and he broke out. People said that Young Buck, if he continued at a steady rate, he could have been the king of the South. He could have been the king of the South.
And just to show the impact on Meek, on top of him being with Rose, they got Ciroc so famous, bro. You know what I'm saying? At the time, you gotta remember they was all up under Diddy at that time. They was promoting Ciroc, bro. They had everybody popping Ciroc back then. Talking about, so they was like very, very impactful, man.
Yeah. Meek Mill watched the game. You know what I'm saying? Ross watched the game. They saw how Dipset manipulated the markets of alcohol through their videos.
Facts.
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 Yeah, definitely started it. Man, with the scissor.
Yeah, man. What an overall great topic for today. You know, guys, we did I feel like we've kind of come full circle with this whole thing after interviewing Kaboom and Santos. And we're putting out those clips over the next few weeks. You saw we just had released Kaboom speaking on Cassidy being at the top of his list for a battle. Any reaction to that, Rosewood, since we put that out about Kaboom actually wanting to battle Cassidy, man. A lot of people in the chat were saying Kaboom has the best one-liners.
Kaboom be coming with the one-liners and the rebuttals. I give him, he come with both of them joints. It's like a 1-2 combination, you know. But anybody that's battling in Philly or came up in the DVD era, everybody want to battle Cassidy. So it's not like a surprise for him to say that. You know, if he didn't say that, that would be a shock. You know, because everybody's gonna go at Cassidy. You know, it's just the way it is, man. Cassidy been battling since the late '90s. So from the late '90s to the DVD era, all the way up to him making his hottest songs, people always want to battle Cassidy. It's like you want to test your lyrical prowess.
And yeah, TWIZZ, you know, I was actually pretty shocked, you know, when Kaboom. Sorry, I have a little problem over here with the bud. Shit's sticky as hell. You know, I was actually pretty shocked with how everybody was, you know, commenting. They were actually saying, "Yo, Kaboom would beat Cassidy in a battle, man." So to see all the local support that Kaboom gets from Philly, man, it really makes me kind of a little bit more anticipated to see this battle if it were to ever happen.
Facts. You know, it would be a real good John at the end of the day. Kaboom versus Cassidy would be like AI playing Jordan. You know what I'm talking about? Like, oh, I got a cross. I know what I'm gonna do to him. You know what? He a little bit. He getting a little bit older and things. I'm gonna hit him with this new wave. You know, he's not gonna be ready for this crossover. Where Kaboom is like Kaboom knows how to have moments. His moments is the truth.
It's interesting to hear that, man. You know, and we had actually interviewed Santos last week as well. And man, to hear the story of him actually having a relationship with DJ Khaled, can you imagine that, TWIZZ? Like a Philly rapper with We the Best? What were you thinking when we were going over that with Santos?
It was heavy, but it didn't shock me too much because anybody know how Ant We Run the Streets was moving. He was a networkaholic, bro. Like he was connecting the dots. You know, he was the reason why a lot of artists was linking up with certain people, man. You know, and it didn't shock me, but it was definitely like, you know, music to my ears. Like, you know, that was good, but on top of that, it was unfortunate that they didn't, you know, that they weren't able to build because of a certain situation. So that was unfortunate.
Yo, Rosewood, man. Yo, Rosewood, just tell me, man, how big of a connection would that have been for We Run the Streets to team up with We the Best Music Group?
It would have been major. It would have been major for the city, man. It would have been major marketing and promotion coming to the city. You know, like shout out to Ant and We Run the Streets, man. And good luck to TWIZZ for even bringing that up, man. And for everybody in the comments,
You already.
you know, Ant was really bringing the visuals and people faces around the country that was in Philadelphia, really showcasing the talent and bringing it in a professional way. So if you could have linked with DJ Khaled and other people like that, it would have been major. You know, it's unfortunate. You know, it would have been major though. It would have been major.
Facts.
Yeah, I think that would have really put the whole situation on a whole nother level. If you know what I mean, if honestly Santos could have got that situation, but also, you know what I mean, We Run the Streets could have got that distribution. Like it really could have gone hand in hand, man. What's going on? Yes. I got this is what I'm on tonight, you guys. But we really appreciate everybody tapping in for us on this topic tonight, guys. Really appreciate everybody tapping in. SV TWIZZ, my guy, Somerville TWIZZ, the hood blogger, Rosewood, Spill ENT. You know what I'm saying? We just want to come through and give y'all an episode tonight. Definitely appreciate everybody tapping in, and stay tuned for our next joint, you guys.
Y'all ready? Salute.